The challenger had never lost. Not once. Not in 11 years. Not to anyone. And when he walked into that gymnasium in the spring of 1970 and pointed at Chuck Norris, he wasn't looking for a fight. He was looking for proof that the man standing across from him was human. He was about to find something else entirely. Long Beach, California, March 1970. A Thursday afternoon, 2:17 in the afternoon. The gymnasium sits on the edge of the industrial district, a converted warehouse with high ceilings and concrete floors, and the particular smell of chalk dust and sweat that serious training always produces. The light comes through clerestory windows in long diagonal shafts, cutting through the air above the mats. Outside, Los Angeles is doing what Los Angeles always does, moving, humming. Indifferent to everything that doesn't involve a camera or a contract. Inside, none of that exists. This is a private facility. No sign on the door, no public access. The kind of place that serious martial artists find through word of mouth, through whispered recommendations passed between practitioners who have outgrown the idea of the public gym. 30 people occupy the space, coaches, advanced students, a handful of invited observers. All of them serious, all of them here for the same reason. To watch what happens when Ray Dalton finds an answer to his question. Ray Dalton is not famous. He has no commercial sponsorship, no Hollywood connections, no name recognizable outside the narrow world of full-contact martial arts competition. What he has is a record. 11 years of competition, 38 professional bouts, 38 wins, 29 knockouts, 0 losses, 0 draws. He is 6'2". He weighs 225 pounds. His style is a hybrid, trained originally in Shotokan karate under a Japanese instructor who believed pain was the most efficient teacher. Then cross-trained in full-contact competition through channels that predate the organized circuit by a decade. He fights with the economy of a man who has had 11 years to eliminate everything that doesn't work. No wasted motion. No flashy sequences. Every technique he throws has been tested against real resistance and survived. He is 34 years old and he has never been stopped. In the martial arts community, the underground current of it, the part that exists below tournament press releases and television demonstrations, Ray Dalton is spoken of in a specific tone. Respectful, cautious, the tone of people who have either faced him or watched someone else face him and understand what that experience involves. He has been in Long Beach for 2 days. He came here specifically. He came here because of Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris is 30 years old. He weighs 168 pounds. He stands 5'10". Those are the numbers people recite first, the numbers that establish context, the numbers that make the record harder to believe. Middleweight Tang Soo Do practitioner, black belt under Han Lee, world middleweight karate champion. Undefeated in his competitive career through 1970. Fast, technical, economical, a man who fights as though he has already seen the outcome and is simply executing the sequence required to produce it. Chuck is not here for Ray Dalton. He is here because Thursday afternoon is when he trains, and Thursday afternoon he is always here. He arrived at 1:00 p.m., an hour before anyone else. He has spent the last 70 minutes on the heavy bag and the focus mitts, working through combinations with the methodical patience of someone who understands that championships are built in the empty hours when no one is watching. He knows Dalton is in the city. The community is small. Word moves. He doesn't know Dalton is in this building until Dalton walks through the door. The room notices immediately. The way rooms notice when someone with a particular kind of gravity enters a space. Conversations pause. Training stops. 30 people assess the situation with the involuntary alertness of practitioners who have spent years developing the instinct to read rooms. Ray Dalton walks to the center of the floor, doesn't approach Chuck, just stands. His arms are at his sides, his posture is straight. He is looking at Chuck Norris across 15 feet of gymnasium air with an expression that is not aggressive. It is something closer to scientific. The room understands what is happening. Ray Dalton speaks. His voice is flat, even, carrying without effort in the concrete space. I've been watching your competition footage for 6 months. 12 tapes. Every fight you've filmed. Chuck has stopped his bag work. He is facing Dalton. His gloves are still on. His breathing is controlled. His expression does not change. Dalton continues. You're the best tournament fighter I've seen. Your timing is real, your technique is clean, but tournament fighting has rules. Protected zones, prohibited targets, weight classes. Everything shaped to produce a result without producing a funeral. He pauses. I don't fight tournaments. I've fought 38 people under different conditions. You should know what those conditions produced. He doesn't state his record. Everyone in the room already knows it. I want to fight you. 1 round, no tournament rules, no pads, no weight class exemptions. You at your weight, me at mine. 30 minutes in this room with 30 witnesses. Afterwards, we'll both know if what you do works against what I do. The room is completely silent. Chuck Norris looks at Dalton for a long moment. Long enough for the people watching to understand that he is not making an impulsive decision. Long enough to understand that whatever he says next, he will have thought it through. He pulls off his right glove, then his left. All right, he says. 30 witnesses. 1 round. No clock. The training space is reorganized quickly. Mats pushed back to the walls, a square of floor cleared at the center. The 30 observers arrange themselves around the perimeter close enough to see, far enough to be clear of what's coming. 2 coaches from Dalton's gym stand near the south wall. 2 of Chuck's regular training partners stand near the north. Neither set of coaches says anything. There is nothing to say that isn't already understood. Ray Dalton removes his shirt. His upper body is what 11 years of full-contact training produces. Not the sculpted bulk of a bodybuilder, but the dense, functional mass of a man who has been hit with everything and kept going. There are scars across his ribs from an elbow strike that should have broken them, from a fight in 1967 whose details are still circulated in certain circles. Chuck Norris stands in his training clothes, dark pants, plain shirt, no ceremony, no ritual. Just a man at his weight, at his height, standing at the edge of what is about to happen. A man near the east wall says, "When both of you nod." They nod. The bout begins. Ray Dalton doesn't rush. He has 38 fights of experience telling him not to rush. Rushing against an unknown quantity is how good fighters get surprised. Instead, he advances with measured steps, his guard raised to mid-height, his eyes tracking Chuck's entire body, not just his hands. Chuck circles. His movement is lateral, smooth, the footwork of someone who understands angles. Dalton throws a jab, testing, feeling for the response. Chuck slips it. His head moves left. The jab passes through empty space. Dalton reads this, makes a note. The slip was fast and minimal, not a flinch, not a retreat, a precise geometric movement, the kind that comes from 10,000 hours of specific drilling, not instinct. He throws again, cross this time more committed. Chuck is not there when it arrives. He is moved offline by 2 steps, circling right, and the cross finds nothing. Before Dalton can reset, Chuck's lead hand has extended, a short, precise strike that touches Dalton's shoulder and withdraws. The contact is light, deliberate, a punctuation mark. It says, "I could have put that somewhere else." Dalton resets. His face shows nothing, but his internal processing has shifted. He has felt Chuck's speed now. He knows what he's working with. He changes tactics. Lower body attack. A hard leg kick aimed at Chuck's lead thigh, the kind of shot that, accumulated over a round, turns a man's leg into something unreliable. Chuck checks it. His shin meets Dalton's incoming kick at the midpoint of its arc, deflecting it, absorbing the force at the angle of least damage. Dalton feels the check, registers it. That's not a block. That's conditioning. Trained shins meeting trained shins. He throws a combination. Jab, cross, body kick. Textbook sequence. Real power behind each one. The techniques that have put 29 people on the floor over 11 years. Chuck moves through them. Not away, through. He slips the jab, rolls under the cross, steps inside the body kick, and for 1 fraction of a second he is in the pocket. Close enough to end it, and Dalton knows this because he feels Chuck there before he can see him. Chuck doesn't end it. He resets. Steps back. The room is completely quiet. At 90 seconds, Dalton changes everything. He has been measuring. He has the information he needs. He knows Chuck's speed, his angles, his preference for the offline step. He knows the timing on the rear cross, a half beat slower than the jab, which is how it should be, nothing unusual there. What he knows most of all is that Chuck Norris is the best thing he has faced in 38 fights. And he knows how to beat the best things he has faced. He attacks with full commitment. Everything he has. Jab cross hook combination, shoulder behind each punch, body weight transferring, the kind of sequence that has produced 29 of his knockouts. Chuck slips the jab, slips the cross, the hook catches him. Not flush. Not at full power. Chuck has rolled with it, has partially slipped it, has taken perhaps 40% of the intended force. But 40% of what Dalton throws is enough to move a man, and Chuck moves, 2 steps to the right, weight shifted. Not buckled but affected. Dalton follows. He is a finisher. This is what he does. He drives a right hand toward the point where Chuck's chin will be when Chuck finishes his recovery movement. Chuck is not finishing his recovery movement. He has stopped it. Change direction mid-motion. His footwork reverses, not backward but forward and left, inside Dalton's punch, past the extended arm before it has fully delivered its force. He is inside. Inside is a place Dalton's power shots cannot reach. Chuck's hands work. A short ridge hand to the floating rib, then an elbow to the shoulder joint controlled, then. As Dalton instinctively contracts to cover the body, a precise open hand strike to the side of the neck. Not full power, calibrated, just enough. Dalton's right side goes briefly numb. He covers up. His training takes over. He clinches instinctively, wrapping Chuck's arms, trying to neutralize the close-range work, buying his nervous system the seconds it needs to reset. Chuck lets him clinch. Doesn't fight for position, just waits. The referee separates them. 2 minutes and 15 seconds. 30 witnesses. No one speaks. Dalton is breathing hard now. Not spent, he has fought 12-round bouts and finished strong. But working. This is the most technically demanding thing he has encountered in 38 fights. His right side is still processing the neck strike. Not injured. But cataloging. He circles. Chuck circles. They find each other across 8 feet of gymnasium floor and settle into the specific stillness that happens between serious fighters when both of them are thinking very hard and neither of them wants to be the one who blinks first. Dalton feints. Chuck doesn't move. Dalton feints again, lower, more convincing. Chuck's eyes track it without his body committing. He is not biting. Dalton has fought people who could defend. He has not fought people whose defense was so complete that he couldn't manufacture an opening through feinting. This is new information. He files it. He decides to take something. He throws a hard body kick, lead leg, aimed at Chuck's liver. He knows the check will be there. He doesn't care. He wants Chuck's weight shifted to the right so he can follow with the left hand to the head. The kick connects. Chuck's check absorbs most of it, but the body is struck. Chuck's weight does shift right. The left hand follows. Chuck's head moves. The punch skims past his ear so close that the man standing nearest in the room will say afterward that he heard it pass. And then Chuck's right hand is there. One shot. Precision placement. Not at full extension, short, compact, the kind of punch that requires no wind-up because the power is already in the body when the fist moves. It strikes Dalton's chin on the lateral angle below the ear at the point where the jawbone meets the neck. Dalton's legs go wrong. Not buckled wrong, the specific wrongness of legs receiving incorrect information from a nervous system that has just been interrupted. He catches himself, both hands go down to the floor, one knee goes down. He is kneeling. Ray Dalton, 38 fights, 0 losses, on one knee in a gymnasium in Long Beach, California on a Thursday afternoon in March 1970. The room is frozen. Chuck Norris does not move. He stands exactly where his feet are, hands at mid-level, breathing. His expression is unchanged. He is watching Dalton with the calm attention of a man waiting to see what happens next, not with hope, not with concern, just watching. Dalton's knee is down for 4 seconds. His hands find the floor. His head clears. He looks up at Chuck Norris from the floor. Something passes across his face. Not anger. Not humiliation, not yet. Something that takes a moment to identify. Recognition. He has fought 38 people. He has never been here before. He is here now. And the man who put him here is standing 15 feet away, not celebrating, not advancing, simply standing, giving him the time and space to make the next decision himself. Dalton's hand goes up, not a tap, a wave. the gesture of a man who has made a clear-eyed decision about what he has just experienced. The referee steps in, the bout is over. Chuck Norris crosses to Dalton before anyone else moves. Not quickly, with the same measured pace he uses for everything. He extends his hand. Dalton looks at it from the floor for a moment. Then, he takes it. Chuck's grip is firm. He pulls once. Dalton stands. His legs are reliable again. Whatever the hit interrupted, it has reconnected. They are standing close, the way fighters stand after something serious has happened between them. Dalton says, quietly enough that only Chuck can hear, "You're faster than the tapes show." Chuck considers this. The tapes are slowed down by cameras. The real thing isn't. "What did you just hit me with?" "The right hand. I didn't see it. You weren't supposed to." Chuck releases his hand. The setup was everything before it. 3 minutes of setup for one strike. Dalton nods slowly. This is the kind of information that only makes sense once you've received the strike it describes. He says, "You could have finished it. 3 or 4 times before that. I felt you there." Chuck doesn't look away. This wasn't about finishing it. Then what was it about? Testing, same as you. The 30 witnesses are still absolutely quiet, watching 2 men have the most honest conversation available, the one that happens after real combat when all the performance is stripped away and only the facts remain. Dalton looks around the room. 30 faces. 30 people who have just seen the first thing to put him on the floor in 11 years. He sees what he expects on some of them, the particular expression of martial artists who have just recalibrated their understanding of what is possible. He doesn't see mockery. He doesn't see pity. He sees respect. The difficult kind. The kind that costs something. He looks back at Chuck. "I'll say this once, because I won't need to say it again." His voice is even. "In 38 fights, I've never been stopped. I've never been put down." A pause. "Today I was both. You were. That means something." Chuck nods. "It means you came here and found out something real." Most people don't do that. They stay comfortable. They fight people who won't answer the question. You answered it. You asked it honestly. The afternoon continues. The gymnasium resumes. Ray Dalton stays for another hour. He doesn't train, he watches. He watches Chuck work with his students, moving through combinations on the mitts, breaking down timing principles, correcting small errors in footwork with the patient precision of someone for whom the details are not small at all. He watches the way Chuck teaches, the economy of explanation, the preference for demonstration over description, the way he communicates through the body what language cannot efficiently carry. Before he leaves, Dalton approaches Chuck one more time. The room is busy. Nobody is paying close attention. "That punch," Dalton says, "the right hand at the end. How long did it take you to develop it?" Chuck considers the question seriously. "That specific shot? 7 years. Drilling the chamber until it disappeared, until there was no visible setup. 7 years. For that one tool." Dalton is quiet, doing the arithmetic of 11 years against 7 years, and understanding that the arithmetic isn't really about time at all. "I'm going to need to rethink some things," he says finally. Chuck looks at him with an expression that is, briefly, warm. That's the beginning of everything. Ray Dalton left Long Beach the following morning. What he carried with him was not a defeat, though that is what the record shows if you know where to look, in the informal ledgers that serious practitioners keep in their heads. What he carried was more specific than that. He carried the knowledge of exactly where his understanding of combat ended and where Chuck Norris's began. He had felt the gap. He knew its dimensions. He knew what filled it. 7 years of developing one tool until it became invisible. A philosophy of patience. A willingness to set up across the entire duration of a fight for one precise moment. And the technical capacity to execute that moment in the fraction of a second between setup and recognition. In the months that followed, Dalton modified his approach. He trained differently. He built new tools, not to replace what he had, but to address what the Long Beach afternoon had revealed about the limits of what he had. His record continued. He fought 8 more bouts over the next 3 years and won them all. But he fought them differently, with a calibration that hadn't been there before. He spoke about Chuck Norris, when the subject came up in the right company, in a specific tone. Not the tone of someone who has been defeated, the tone of someone who has been educated. He said, once, to a student who was asking what real technical mastery looked like, "Find the right person. Let them show you what you don't know. The information is worth whatever it costs you." Chuck Norris never discussed the bout publicly. It was a private demonstration conducted in a private facility, witnessed by 30 people, none of whom were journalists. The story circulated in its proper channel, the underground current of the serious martial arts community, with the accuracy that serious practitioners maintain when the subject is real and the stakes were real. 30 witnesses. 1 round. 2 minutes and 41 seconds of full contact work. 1 strike. 1 knee on the gymnasium floor. 1 man standing. The lesson was not about winning. Chuck Norris would win many more times, on competition floors, in front of larger crowds, with records attached and trophies waiting and cameras present. Those victories belonged to the public. This one belonged to something older and quieter. 2 men entered a room to find out something real about themselves and each other. The answer cost one of them something he had never paid before. And both of them left knowing something they couldn't have known any other way. That is what the mat is for. Not performance. Not reputation, not the record. The mat is for the question you need answered. And on a Thursday afternoon in Long Beach in March 1970, with 30 witnesses and no clock and 1 round and everything honest, Chuck Norris answered the question Ray Dalton had been carrying for 11 years, in 2 minutes and 41 seconds. That is not just a fight. That is the difference between a man who has never been tested and a man who finally subscribed. If you want to know what really happened behind closed doors, the fights they never televised, the lessons that never made the headlines, the moments that changed everything.